After that, we picked up the kids, and fast forward to how I started financial education. I've always loved teaching about money, and people always ask me anyway, like, what should I do with my money? Oh, I've got this much. So growing up, it was always like that, I guess because of my background with my parents. And so I met Gwen pretty randomly first at a training session. We didn't really speak. Gwen of Xtraordinary. We didn't really speak, and then we met at a cash flow game in Somerset West. And so the usual thing, you exchange contact numbers and hope that you call each other at some point and get together. And we did, luckily. And we met at Musica at the waterfront. And we just got along, and somehow we started talking about our dreams. She was telling me what she'd like to do with Extraordinary Women and all her big dreams. And I said, my passion is really teaching about money. And I'm always teaching people about money anyway. And my friends are always asking me, I'd like to do it formally, like have a workshop and help people manage their money. So she said, okay, I can help you put together a workshop. She says, as long as you can put together the material, we can do this. I thought, oh my gosh, oh, okay. So I was thinking it's the usual South African thing of, we'll do this and then you forget about it. But the next month, she called me, is the material ready? I said, oh, so was she actually serious? I said, no, let me get started on it. The following month, she called me, is the material ready? I said, okay, she's really serious. I said, Gwen, let's set a date. If we set a date, I'm going to have this done. And we set a date for 2 months later. And 2 months later, we had our first workshop at the waterfront. It was free accommodation, she was there. Yeah. Free venue, and so we had a couple of people, and from there it just like spread like wildfire by word of mouth. People were now getting in touch with us and all that stuff. And so from there, that's how I found myself here. I was featured in magazines and all that stuff. I wouldn't particularly call myself a success story because I believe I'm still a work in progress. And what is success at the end of it? It's really up to how you feel about it. For me, success is fulfillment, and I'm enjoying the journey as I'm going along. And I can attribute my successes to 3 key things. Number 1, relationships. I have extraordinary relationships. My husband, I don't know, without him, I'd really be scattered because I'm very action-oriented and I'm running all the time, and he kind of helps to stabilize me. The people that I meet through networking like this, I never take it for granted because from there, I met Gwen randomly and I don't take it for granted. And so when I do exchange cards and say, okay, let's get in touch, I actually mean it because from there develop so many things and you just don't know until you actually get in touch. My boys, my sons, they're supportive. They're at home right now, called them, will be late, and they're supportive and they understand. I've always been close to extended family, and so for me, relationships have been very key to getting me to where I am today. Number 2 has been my willingness to try and risk failing. I don't say I'm not afraid. I've been afraid a lot of times to try new things, but I do it anyway, and just let's see what happens. And failure, after all, is just temporary defeat. It's really feedback to help us to get back to what we're supposed to be doing. And lastly, a lot of faith. I have faith. When we had that 347 bucks, I just said, he's going to do something somehow. Said, help us before we kill each other. And there have been lots of failures on the way. The 347 moment was like a fall from grace. Like, we were so popular in Zambia, we would make parties and people are paying to come into the party. And so to be in one room, Wendy, and you don't know where the next rent is going to come from, it was like really shocking. Another was, I love fashion. I love fashion, I love clothes. I've always sold clothes. And I wanted to start my own line. Everything was planned out. Afrocentric, because I love my African stuff as well. So I got together with some lady and her husband and her team, and they're saying, oh, we'll walk you through the whole process of fashion and blah, blah, blah. I had no idea about the whole process of making garments. No wonder Nicole says that you really respect a garment when you see it on the rail because, geez, man, what a process. Unfortunately for me, because of the fact that I didn't know so much, and I didn't do any research at all. The people we were working with took advantage of that and assumed I was a bank. And so like, it was like, oh, we need one more thing. The goalpost kept changing because I had no idea, I was clueless. And by the time I figured it out, I thought, okay, at the end of the day, if this is how much money we're going to be spending, just on one or two things, however are we going to make money? And I had planned a big launch, I was inviting people, my website was done and everything, and it just didn't look financially viable. And putting that business away was so, so painful because I love my clothes and it was my big thing and I just had to let it go. I looked at it and I didn't even want to think about what lessons I learned out of it because it was just so painful. I just wanted to forget about it and move on. And so when I was asked about lessons from failures, then I had to think about it. And from there it was really research. I didn't do any research. I rushed into it because I love it. And a lot of times when we love something and we think we're going to be good at it, we don't even bother to find out what really goes on to get that thing. And so that big lesson for me was research. This, by the way, is one of my own designs. I have this event to thank actually because after I did think about what my lesson was from that failure, my creative mind came back and I thought about the outfit. So thank you, Gwen. Another big failure was we invested a lot of money. This one was the most painful financially because it was a lot of money into a business that a friend was working in. Like this business, you're saying, oh, it's going to be so big and we're doing so well already. We're planning to take it public. That was meaning to put it on the stock market and you stand a chance to like make a lot of money if you come in now, and everything was rushed and my gut feeling was something is really wrong. But because there was the opportunity to make money, a lot of money, and it was a friend, and you're thinking, okay, yeah. I'm thinking, okay, can we look at the financial statements? Yes, there'll be a board meeting soon. Everything looked a little bit suspicious, but it was rushed, and you think, okay, maybe I might miss on the opportunity. And so we invested a lot of money. And the case is in court right now. The lessons from that was trust your gut. Lots of times we don't give our guts enough credit. You do know a lot of times when something is not right, but you just ignore it so much because you feel rushed. Number 2 lesson is don't feel rushed. There really is no rush. I love Nicole's talk about it's never too late. There will always be another opportunity because opportunities are there all the time. And don't feel rushed. If you feel uncomfortable and feel I need to know a little bit more, just do take the time and learn a little bit more. That's what I learned from that.